Are we up and running in normalcy now? Over?
No such thing as normal on F-Troop. It's all excitement all the time. Thanks, Dennis. Let's just say good morning to those on F-Troop. Sorry for the delay. We actually did have a successful link which dropped out a few moments before we started F-Troop, so not quite sure what happened there, but glad to have you all with us this morning. On the frequency this morning, we've got VK6 Papa Alpha Whiskey, VK6 Foxtrot Delta Alpha Victor, yeah, that sounds right, VK6 Papa Yankee Tango, VK6 Zulu Lima Zulu, VK6 Alpha Sierra, who's just gone QRT, VK6 Alpha Alpha Lima, and we've got a couple of stations on on EchoLink. So let's start with any stations on EchoLink. Trying to check in, of course, I'm on VK6FLAB. Good morning. Okay, we have VK4 FDMR. Very good morning to you. I think it's Brendan. Just for your info, when you key the microphone, just give it about 15 seconds or so before you start talking, because there's often an ident here at this end which stomps on you, and take it a bit slow because the internet connection sometimes is a little unreliable. But nice to have you on frequency. Anybody else on frequency this morning? VK6FLAB listening.
Bravo, Oscar Bravo.
Node 28597. Connection failed.
Bravo, Oscar Bravo, really? Morning. That sounded like VK6ZGN. VK6ZGN, are you there? Nothing happened. All right. We will just continue on as if nothing happened. Now, this morning, VK6FAAL heading north on Monterey Road checked in. I'm pretty sure that's Musa, and I'm not sure that we've actually had you on the frequency. My computer at the time was having fun, and EchoLink just dropped out, so I think it might have dropped through the cracks there. VK6FAAL, you still with us, VK6FLAB? All right, I'm going to take the positive note and say that you're still there. Good morning, welcome, thanks for joining in. Hope to have you again with us in the not too distant future. All right, Brendan, VK4FDMR. How's Amateur Radio been treating you this week? What have you been up to, VK6FLAB?
VK4 Foxtrot Bravo Mike Romeo. Yeah, just sitting here in Bathurst actually. Thought I'd listen in today. VK8 BOB told me about your link, so yeah, I've got on here and was listening.
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad to hear that the word is getting out. You're always welcome. It's here every Saturday. I might not be hosting every Saturday, but I try to. This is edition 227 of F-Troop, so you're in good company of lots of people who come on air for the first time, or people who have been around the block several times. Yes, you get all sorts here, and we get to talk about amateur radio and everything in between. All right, let's get to the top of the list and see what else we have in the way of topic of conversation. My stint in amateur radio this week, I'm struggling to remember. Celebrated Wally's birthday, VK6YS, yesterday, turned 65. Cakes and coffee were on order, and lots of stories to be retold, always good, and some stories never to be heard ever again. We won't get into that. VK6 Papa Alpha Whiskey, VK6FLAB.
Yeah, VK6FLAB, and big thanks to Dennis, VK6FADS, for taking the reins. Just a quick bit of news. Semi-amateur radio alert. The International Space Station will be passing over Perth tonight, 7:49 p.m. Visible for 6 minutes. And basically, it will appear clear over the northwest and set over the southeast. That's just flashed up on my computer. I thought I'd share it with you. Yeah, I guess later today or maybe tomorrow I'm going to get my 706 installed in the car as well, so that'll have me chuffed. I've had another radio sort of bouncing around the seat or the floor, not quite mounted, and I'm very over that every time I've got to put around a corner or stop in a hurry, so I've deemed that will happen this weekend. And not too much more happening, running around after kids and stuff like that on top of everything else, so just trying to fit in some radio time when I can. VK6FLAB, VK6PAW.
VK6 Foxtrot Alpha Delta Foxtrot. Dennis, thanks for picking up the reins. What say you, Ivan?
From VK6FLAB and from VK6FADF, my pleasure entirely. Yeah, it's nice that we've got a few customers this morning, as it were. It'd be nice to hear from VK6PYT. He happens to
Andrew is, if the 15 minutes have evolved and Andrew's in the car, or if he's still trying to get ready to go to Ham College. VK6AS, VK6FLAB. No, he doesn't love us anymore, that's okay. VK6FAAL, Miss, are you still in range? VK6FLAB. Right, it's all up to you, Brendan. We're going to have a topic of conversation. I'm going to put you on the spot, big spotlight on you, all the way in Queensland, and you get to ask any question you have. Mind you, there's only one restriction. It has to be about having a radio. VK4FBMR, VK6FLAB. Good morning, and what's your question for this morning? Over.
Yeah, good morning there. I don't even really have a question for you this morning. I just thought I'd listen in and talk around and make a few more contacts. I have a father-in-law who's advanced amateur radio, so he answers most of my questions that I have, I'm afraid. So, as you heard, he's listening on in the side there in Darwin, so I'm sure you'll come in shortly.
Well, that's really nice to know that you've got a mentor nearby. That's always very helpful when you're trying to figure out how to get point A into point B and make it all happen. Well, I'm glad to have you on frequency, and as I said, don't feel shy in asking questions. All right, we're back at the top of the list. Before I do, anybody else wanting to take the opportunity to check in? We are in the middle of F Troop, actually just got over the middle of F Troop, thanks to the WA Repeater Group for maintaining VK6RLN. Thanks to Bob, VK6FGN, who quietly in the background made EchoLink work again this morning. So glad to have you. And he and his merry mate, his brother Mal, VK6MT in Katanning, maintaining the repeater there. And Martin, VK6MJ in Mandurah, maintaining AllStar link nodes there as well. Thanks to Tony Langdon, VK3JED, for maintaining EchoLink and IRLP node 9558 in Melbourne, where we're actually all linked into, so that this gets out to Brendan in VK4 and other quiet stations on the background. There's an IRLP node there too. I can see you, but haven't heard you yet. Maybe you're a bit shy this morning. All right, anybody else on frequency this morning? VK6FLAB.
VK6 Mike Lima Bravo, probably listening this morning on it.
Earlier when I called in.
Mobile and returning.
All right, I think I had three people there. AS I heard, stand by. There was a station who called in with a call sign, and there was a station without a call sign that I didn't hear. Let's try the station. I think there was an Alpha Lima in the call sign. Say again.
VK6MLB, just listening this morning, all right.
Morning, Luke. Yeah, I heard the Bravo, and I heard the Lima. So we got there. Thanks. Anybody else? There was another station, VK6FLAB.
And VK8 Bravo Oscar Bravo.
Aha, there's the mysterious the Bravo Oscar Bravo. We were all furiously Googling VK6 Bravo Oscar Bravo, and that, of course, doesn't work. Very good morning. Very good morning to you. VK8 Bravo Oscar Bravo. I'm guessing you're coming in via RLP there, over.
Thanks, Ronna. Yeah, I thought there might be a problem there when somebody mentioned VK6 Bravo Oscar Bravo earlier. No worries there. I'm on RLP 6638, and the son-in-law Brendan is just using my VK4DA EchoLink node because he's still waiting for his paper license so he can register through EchoLink. So that's why that's popped up there. So that's my other call sign, VK4DA. I'm currently here in sunny downtown Darwin, where it's 30 odd degrees.
our end, our EchoLink node died. So from his perspective, it wasn't it wasn't beautiful, but from our perspective, it worked just as expected. He made his call, and we heard him all, and that was all good. Thanks for calling in, Robert, and thanks for getting Brendan on the net. Much appreciated. All right, we'll go to the top of the list again. Before we do, anybody else on frequency wanting to say good day? VK6FLAB and friends, this is F Troop. Check in now. All right, now just got an update from Bob. VK6GN says that we're in Katanning, but not on Mount William. For some reason, that doesn't want to connect. It must be a feature. In fact, when I was in Yarloop, which is out that way, in fact, not that far away from Mount William repeater at all, I tried to participate in F-Troop, but there wasn't any signal coming through. But Bob assures me that was because Jota was on that weekend, and of course I'd completely forgotten about that. So Martin was doing more important things with his repeater. You know, Jota. You know, F-Troop's not that important in the scheme of things. All right, with that, let's go to the top of the list. VK6 Papa Alpha Whiskey. Glenn, good morning again. What have you got for us this morning?
VK6FLAB and F-Troop, VK6PAW. I've got a question. So, not that we're running out of things to talk about, but certainly we spoke last week about how valuable IRLP and EchoLink were for Jota. I'll say more over, but I'm fine with IRLP. I've been playing with that for quite a while on RNC. But I'm looking for EchoLink instructions on a page. I would swear that at one point there was something actually on the F-Troop website via vk6.net that I had printed off. But I can't seem to find it anywhere. So in short, I'm looking for EchoLink on a page. Over.
Well, I can assure you that there are no pages that I've deleted, and I just did a quick search. There's a 2014 page, EchoLink Nodes to Try. There's two on there. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about how to use AllStar link on EchoLink, I suspect. That had a whole bunch of DTMF tones to dial. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, that is the page I'm thinking of, but even just like all the EchoLink commands is I guess what I'm looking for. Over.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if there was a standard for that? It depends on the node. So yes, at the moment we are talking into an old. This is going to get a little technical for people on the side, but bear with me. At the moment we're talking on a repeater which is being received by a radio in Bob's shack, VK6GN. He's got a computer connected to that which is running AllStar link node. Now AllStar link is basically an IT-based system running on Linux. Think of it as a telephone exchange that links up multiple AllStar link nodes. One of the node types that you can talk to on AllStar link node or on this particular repeater is an EchoLink node. So Bob has made the script that connects to the VK3JED conference in Melbourne, which happens to also be an IRLP node. So VK8 Bravo Oscar Bravo in Darwin, he's connected via his repeater to the IRLP node in Melbourne, which is also an EchoLink node, which then is talking to our AllStar link node, which in turn is talking to our local RF repeater.